stream thing, and it comes up with what one do you want to start, and it said the 25th of August, not the 15th of September, because I'd obviously just copied it in and not changed the title. So I hope that some of you have managed to see past my error. I'm almost all set up today. I've just got to get my iPad sorted. So, oh, there it is. Yeah. If nothing else, the camera works, although I've just probably stepped out the top of the screen. But hey, got a little picnic chair that's where I set the iPad. There you go. I mean, come on. This is not the most magical 15 minutes of your rowing day when you get to watch me set things up and whatever. Don't even know if anyone's here yet. I could be talking to myself, but then I'm always talking to myself, so it makes no difference. Right, hang on. Emails, see if I get, oh no. Oh, what? Yes. Whee! Hopefully it'll pop up my little thing saying you've gone live, and that way I don't have to hunt through YouTube to try and find the link. But anyway, once I know if there's people watching, I'll say hello and stuff, but until then, I could just be saying hello to nobody. Although I was just messaging Andrew Fielden, so if you are, if you've just clicked on it, then hi. Come on, hurry up. Or am I maybe on Gmail inbox instead of, oh, come on. Anyway, let's get this sorted. There we go, now live on your channel. At least I got the thumbnail right for whatever it is. Is the volume down? Yay. Well, there's 16 people watching so far. Crikey. Well, there's loads of people. Hello all. I had to dismantle my rower blower. Rower blower. It's so autumn. It's not here, you know. It's quite chilly up here. Yeah, I'm not going to need to put any ice into my ice bath after today's row, I'll tell you that much. HP, finally I can join again. Woohoo! We'll row about 220 speed. We'll get, and then back again for more from John Edge. Good to have you back. Sharbeen, hello! Hi Sharbeen. And hello from Stephen Gurley. If any other people come in, in fact I'm going to type hello because everyone else is saying hello. If I can find my exclamation mark, they go, hello. Right, okay, I'll put that down. So, where are we in the world of setting up? Hey, there's Tito. Hi there. You can see me and hear me, I hope. Well, we can, because I can see it there. And I've got to just get the tech stuff sorted out. So, but just quickly, just to say, and I'll say this as we get closer to the main row itself, for a start, if you want to do some light rowing, because we're suspiciously kind of like all set up, so I'm not going to be racing around changing machines or anything. So if you want to do some light movement, rowing, whatever, in order to kind of make sure you're ready for today, don't go too hard, just kind of move up and down or whatever, and then kind of you can get off and have a wee stretch, maybe have a little drink, maybe you need to go and visit the little boys' room or the little girls' room, who knows, but we're still, like, we've got 12 minutes to go until the start, so yeah, so from so you can get nicely warmed up. Also, this is what I will repeat later, is just to say, pace-wise, I will do what I normally do, which means I'll kind of like ease myself into this at around about 210-ish pace, might kind of climb to around about 205 as I'm starting to think about technique and my body opens up and I can put in a bit more power. And then in terms of sprints and things, I'll see how I feel, but it's likely to be, certainly I'll skip the first one because they always come a little bit too soon, I'm not quite warmed up yet. And then depending on what the sprints are and how long they are, I'll probably get into a bun fight with Andrew Fielden. So feel free to join in a sprint when I sprint. But I've got quite a heavy high rocks training session after this, so I don't really want to kind of completely empty my tank on today's half-hour row because I've still got some high rock stuff to do. So anyway, Stephen Gurley says, rowing is my alter ego, who you mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Oh, Goose. Talk to me, Goose. Oh, that cheered me up. Anyway, right, so where are we for setup? I'm going to quickly go to full screen on that, which will probably get a glitch on there. Yeah, there you go. So if I turn on my trusty PM5 with Concept 2 today, connect rower, you can see it. Nice and simple. Now, of course, the downside to use, I don't know, I'm too scared to try, especially after the past couple of weeks where things have been, we've like either skipped a row or it's been the wrong time or whatever. Trouble has been afoot when it comes to trying to sort these rows out, so I didn't want to whatever. I didn't want to try the Mac version of Xer today because I still don't. Last time I used the Mac version of Xer, there was like a pause that always happened when I was rowing. I quickly, there we go. Phew, let's go. And I've not tried it since, and I don't want to do that and then have it all mess up. So I'll do that at one point. But basically what it means is that I'm running Xer on my phone, which if anybody was watching last week for the morning row, hilariously I was trying to click things on my Mac when actually it was my phone that was controlling. Ha ha ha! Big doofus here. And there's Goose. Talk to me, Goose. And who else have we got? I'm trying to think. Diana Votau's here. I don't know whether she's going to be on the YouTubes or not, but. CBDB is out in the background, I think. I'm trying to recognise some of the names. Have we got 91 people? Crikey, I think 91 might be one of the highest that we've had for the sunset rows or the morning row, so that's quite cool. I'm trying to think, where did I get to in my little story in terms of pace and things? Had I completed it? I was on to tech stuff, wasn't I? So maybe, but yeah, anyway, pace-wise, yes, I'm going to keep it down. But hopefully if there's going to be like 90 odd people on the water today, then if you're down, if you are like, who said they were doing 220? HP was saying 220 pace. Hopefully there'll be other people around that 220 pace that you'll be able to, maybe you back off a second in order to slow down with them, or you speed up a couple of seconds to keep up with them, who knows? But hopefully you'll find your own little group that you can kind of keep going with as far as the row's concerned. There isn't really, I don't really do these as a pace guide one. Hey, there's Mike. It's been a while. Hello. Right, how does this work? Need to update Xer. Good to hear from you. You were looking powerful in that Instagram photo, must be said. You're obviously, your training's going well. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, just a little bit of a Anyway, where was I? Good grief. 91 people. It's been one of those days. It's been a very odd day. Like we've still got, we've got 8 minutes, so I might as well just chat for, actually I was talking about, I can't remember now. Anyway, where Holly, my youngest, her phone stopped working. So I had to drive into the Apple store, and then they were like, yeah, we can fix it for you. Have you backed up your data? I was like, oh. So I came home, backed up the data, went back in with it, dropped it off, and went, backed up, fixed it. And he's like, right, it'll be an hour and a half. And it's a 20-minute drive. So a 20-minute drive to get home again. And I'm like, I'm going to have to leave in like another 50 minutes. And then kind of like left in, picked up the phone, come back. But you know, that way you're just bouncing around the same kind of thing all day long. And it kind of really just throws you for six. Your brain's kind of like, who am I? What am I? And so that's why I'm a little bit kind of like, today. I'm a little bit kind of scattered mentally. But I did, if nothing else, I listened to a very good podcast of which I may speak some of the training tips and things that I gathered from that today. I might kind of talk about, just because, you know what, we've got half an hour together, got to talk about something. But yeah, that's what I was saying about the pace guides. So I don't really do the Sunday rows. I don't really come in and say, hey, everybody, let's do this at 20 strokes a minute, 2K plus 18 pace or anything. It's a free-for-all. Row this how you want to. Now, if you want to do it at a low intensity, 2K plus 18, please do, because that's such a fantastic row to do. Or maybe you want to break this into like 3-2-1. You want to do 3 minutes at 2K plus 18 at 20 strokes a minute, then 2 minutes at 24 strokes a minute and like 6 seconds faster, and then 1 minute at like 30 strokes a minute and 2K plus 5, and then you back down to that 3 again and go 3-2-1, 3-2-1, 3-2-1. Do that 5 times, your half an hour's done. And trust me, that's a really easy way to absolutely burn through half an hour. It'll be done before you realize it, because you're always almost like you're always fearful of that 1 minute at the end. It's not fearful, but you get what I mean. You're kind of like, you get that 3 minute recovery, and then you're like, oh no, there's that 2, then there's that 1, and then 3 minute recovery. And it just, the time flies so fast if you do the 3-2-1. So you can do that, or you can just go for a full on time trial. How far can you row in 30 minutes? Or you get what I'm saying. So you can do this however many ways you want. So pick how you want to row it. I don't particularly say how to do it. It's not really, Xer's a fantastic app, but until they actually have like the rubber banding effect that you get on Zwift, where you can all like kind of be together, the pace thing's a little bit, when it comes to the group rows like this, it's not quite something you can do. And plus, even with the rubber banding thing on Zwift, when you got all the cyclists bunched together in a peloton, that looks quite cool. But here, it'd just be a mess, a muddle of boats, wouldn't it? And oars all slapping into each other. Gavin Gillet, Why is your heart rate 144 before start? Are you okay? Because the Garmin is ridiculously stupid. That's why. I don't understand why. In fact, if I hold it down, oh, it's right. Oh no, down to 116. It's not dropping anymore. 115. There's something about the Garmin that either it's something to do with my Bluetooth setup in here, or it's because I've got it too loose on my wrist. And when I start rowing and blood starts pumping and my wrists get a little thicker, I guess, maybe it settles itself down. But hang on, is there a clock running? There's, okay, hang on. I'll tell you exactly what it is. I'll shut up for 15 seconds, hang on. Right. Okay. 10 beats in 15 seconds, so that's 40. So don't worry about me. Actually, to be honest, all right, okay. I don't think you needed that test. That was 15 seconds of fantastic television as well, wasn't it? Man holding neck to check pulse. As long as you're okay, that's the main thing. More on that side. First time in a group row. Hi all. Hi, Taichiwawa? I'll say Taichiwawa, it's probably not your name. I'm actually going to hospital tomorrow to get a trace done because I was went to the doctors a couple of weeks ago about cholesterol tests. Did I talk about this last week? I can't remember. I might get into this. I had a high cholesterol result, basically. Well, I might talk about this at one point, but if not, feel free to email me. Andrew, I can't check your message because it comes through on my phone or my watch. I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, and while I was there, he was taking my blood pressure and things, and my heart rate dropped down to 33. And the doctor was like, and I'm like, oh, that's even a little bit low for me, because normally, like, my resting heart rate when I wake up is about 37. And then when I'm just kind of throughout the day working and things, it's like 40, 42. But getting down to 33, he was a little bit alarmed. And I'm thinking it's a read error rather than it being that my heart rate was 33. But I'm off to hospital tomorrow because he's like, listen, I just want to make sure that you're not, what is it? If any of you are doctors, I apologize for this, but brachycardic, is that right? Where it's rather than tachycardic, which is like too fast, brachy being the other way. I think that's right. If any of you are doctors, you can let me know. But anyway, so I'm off for a trace tomorrow just to kind of see what happens there, just to make sure there's nothing actually, because I sit here and think that my resting heart rate being 40 is fantastic. I'm so super fit, woohoo, look at me. But what if there was actually a problem with my heart and that's why it's so low? That would be bad, wouldn't it? But what I don't want is for them to go, oh yeah, you've got a low resting heart rate, we're gonna have to put you on, like give you a pacemaker or something, just because they're a little bit fearful about the low heart rate, because this doesn't cause me any issues or anything. I was going to say something else there. Yeah, like when I had, how long we got? 1:13. Yeah, when I cut my finger, if you didn't know, I had a bad accident with when sharpening a knife, and it kind of cut right through my tendon. So I had to get surgery to get my finger sewn up again. And so I'm lying. It was under local, so I'm lying on the table. While they're working on my hand, just lying there. They were talking away. I'm just going to lie in there going, I wonder what's going on. And my heart rate was down at like 40. The surgeon's like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, it's just because your heart rate is down at 40. I'm like, well, I'm kind of trusting that you know what you're doing, and they shouldn't really be sitting here panicking. And he's like, oh, all right then. So anyway. Right, anybody else saying hello? I got a little laugh from Mike. Hopefully that's not a laugh at my heart rate. It's a laugh at me saying how good you looked in your Instagram post. You should, everyone follow Mike. I still think I'm the wrong generation for Instagram, to be honest. I keep on trying. Okay, right, we've got 15 seconds to go. Remember, there's a 5-second delay, okay? So if you're doing this on Xer, look at the countdown on Xer, not me, okay? And then we'll get going, all right? Sorry about that. Andrew, I'll reply to your message afterwards. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so nice and gentle to start. Hello from Perth, Australia, from Gavin Gillett or Gillett, Mike. No man, holding neck. All right, okay. It was great television. Right, so let's just ease into today's row for a few minutes. I know this means that some of you are going to be hitting the ground at like 2 minutes, 2:05 or something, and scooting off into the distance. Some of you won't even be up at 2:10 pace, and you'll be getting overtaken, but that's fine. M. Cheney seems to be in a dinghy. Didn't realise that Exer had launched a dinghy. Is it, or is it just a wooden rowboat? It is. That's funny. Yeah, so let's just get our bodies moving, spend a couple of minutes, hey Andrew, just kind of with the rowing motion. And really what you're trying to do here is just open up your back, that pumping motion forwards and backwards over your hips, and trying to get the rhythm, the flow of your stroke getting smoother and smoother as everything eases off. And I'll talk a little bit technique-y eventually, but right now you just think about posture, making sure that you're sitting up on your sit bones as you tilt forwards. And I said before about it's like being shouted at for slumping at the dinner table. At the back, so you go, whoa, you sit up and then tilt forwards. And it's that rock forwards and backwards that will really help you with the rhythm of your stroke. Oh. Nice to see a good bunch of us all just kind of holding this 2:07-ish pace. Try and keep an eye on where, is this quite a short course, or is it just an initial loop? Because otherwise, if this is like a 2-minute loop, I don't know what the distance of this one is. But then, really, it's like when people say they find it boring having the short courses on Exer. I'm sure if you do them all the time, it probably is eventually. That's a proper dinghy. Well, it does eventually get boring, seeing the same thing all the time, but really, how captivated you are in your rowing should really be down to the effort you're putting in. And then things, apps and stuff, are all just kind of distractions. Even me chatting away is just a distraction to help get you through a half-hour row. I mean, I'm hoping that I'm talking stuff that you're going to take in, but I'm really just here for you to kind of tune in and out of while you're rowing and getting a great workout for half an hour. We've got another message. Andrew Gustafsson. So it's hard to read and row. Hi, would been great to join, but no space for a rower. Oh, well, my treasure hunt on the RowAlong channel, I am giving away a Concept 2, but I'm not giving away any remodeling of your home in order to fit it, I'm afraid. 2 people have already found the treasure. So it's definitely going to be a prize draw between at least 2 people to see who wins the Concept 2. And then all the other prizes, t-shirts, heart rate monitor, app subscriptions, including Exer, there'll be another prize draw. So, quite surprised somebody found the treasure so quick, to be honest. I thought I buried it better than that, but anyway. If you don't know what I'm on about, just go to my YouTube channel and you'll see one of the videos, win a Concept 2 or go to my website, RowAlong.com, and you'll see it there as well. I'm not trying to blatantly advertise my stuff right now, but I kind of need to if you're interested in trying to win the concept too. Right, we're coming up for 6 minutes in. Let's do a technique checkup and just think about what's going on. Maybe try to think about what's going on with you as I talk about it. Maybe you're not doing what I describe by choice, but maybe you think you're doing what I talk about and you're not actually. Is this, hang on, is this a sprint coming up? It is. I'm not doing this one, okay? Still only 5 minutes in, so I'm not going to do it. You can all sprint if you wish, but I'm not. Now remember, I've already said about the hip tilt and how it's about thinking about sitting up and tilting forwards from the back of the stroke. If you can think about techniques starting at the point of recovery rather than only thinking about the catch, then you'll hopefully have a much more consistent stroke. So you want to finish and then relax your arms. So I don't want tension, but at the same time, you don't just drop them to your lap, but relax them. I was emailing someone this morning and saying, just think about the handle being passed under a sheet of glass. So it's just enough of a relaxation of your arms to come under like a window pane. And the arms go away first. That then triggers your forwards tilt, so that by the time your hands are past your knees, your arms are straight, you're in a forwards tilt, and all you have to do is bend your knees in order to roll into the front of the machine. And if you try and do that, arms, back, knees, what happens is you're set in the right position before you bend your knees, and that's where consistency of your stroke comes in, where you'll be able to hit the catch in the same position each time, rather than it being about everything suddenly coming in at the last minute, which is where that random kind of variation can change. In fact, doing that, I was suddenly up at 201, 203 pace, which many people would say would be a better thing, but anyway. Into the front, hands straight, forwards tilt, only slide until shins are vertical, please. Try not to overcompress. And then push your feet into the machine, keeping your arms straight, and that forwards tilt, so that the power comes up through your body, from your legs, through your back, to shoulders, arms, hands, and then when your legs are about halfway done, that's when you finally swing from that forwards tilt to a backwards tilt to add in your backswing, and then pull with your arms to a finish. And the last thing to say is that I never stop. It's like, yeah, you never stop talking, mate. But apart from that, I've never stopped. Oh, right. Somebody has just commented RowAlong treasure hunt. Even when I come into the front, there may be like a tenth of a second as I change direction, but at the back, the moment I pull the handle into my chest, I let it release again. Because on a rowing machine, there is zero value in being stopped at the back. In an actual boat, there is. So I guess maybe if you're practicing on an erg to be able to do it in a boat, there might be value. But if you do it on a Concept 2, all that happens is the flywheel slows down. Oh, and by the way, just for Gavin, in case you're wondering, that's my heart rate. So we're 12 minutes in, and my heart rate's only 121, or 123 now. So don't worry about my racing heart. It's just something about when I sit here, not doing anything, it reads too high. Which actually, I was in two minds whether to talk about this or not. Hang on, my phone's about to fall off. Stop it. Got a sprint coming up? Yeah, I'll try and get this out of the way before the sprint comes up. So, I'm going to make a video eventually, but I'll talk about it now. The video will be titled, High Rocks Saved My Life. Because when I was at the London Olympia High Rocks, I got a discount code for one of these blood test things, which I did, optimally me. Mostly because I was interested in testosterone levels. After reading so many people talk about low testosterone affecting training. Hang on, have we got a... Oh no, not yet. But results came back. Testosterone's like right in the middle of... Well, right in the middle. But they did say all of my cholesterol, apart from the good one, is in the red. And I should really go and see a doctor. It's only like 4.5 or something, but they're still like, go talk to a GP. So I did. Went and saw my doctor. And then, as he is, well, like we're talking about the cholesterol, and he's doing blood pressure, he's like, oh, your blood pressure's a little high. I'm like, oh, okay. And then that's where the really low heart rate started to alarm him. And so that's why I'm off for a trace tomorrow, just to make sure it's nothing untoward. But while he was doing blood pressure, he noticed like a cut on my back. And he's like, what's that? I'm like, well, it's a cut that I keep on ripping open. So it's scar tissue that I just rip open. And upshot of that, I'm off to see someone about it being potentially skin cancer. So, all because I got that 10% discount code at High Rocks. I'm now keeping an eye better on cholesterol, getting my heart checked, and making sure I don't have a basal carcinoma, which he's like, don't worry about it. If that's what it is, you're fine. But it just needs dealt with. And I think that's what Hugh Jackman had. Right, I'm going to sprint this one, Andrew, in case you're up for this one. After this stroke, let's go. Remember, when sprinting, it's about power and stroke rates. So I'm pushing hard with the legs, but also trying to keep a high rate. Oh. Take a moment to recover. I thought I was doing well talking through that, and then I looked and saw I still had 100 meters to go. And then I was like, oh, you better shut up if you want to continue at 1:32 pace. But like I said, it's about pushing harder with the legs and getting the rate up. If you have that connection with straight arms at the front of the machine, and you push your legs with those straight arms, then because of the extra power causing the fan to spin faster, the feel of the stroke is a lot heavier, so the force that you brace against as you push, the force from your hands feels a lot more powerful, and as a result, as you come into the finish, as long as you try and maintain that kind of force perception, let's call it, then your pull into a finish will also be more powerful. So you don't really need to think about pulling harder when sprinting, as long as you're getting the connection of feet to hands, and you're certainly not pulling from the front and missing your legs. Oh, anyway, I was halfway through a joke when that sprint happened. Saying about the crikey, Mike is sprinting with his feet out. Good job. The problem with a static erg sprinting with your feet out is once the rate goes up and the power goes up, you have to be really good at it as the rate goes up. Did I say rate? I think I did. Anyway, back to my thing. So, I've been saying I've been training harder in the weights gym to try and put on some muscle in a vain attempt to try and look like Hugh Jackman. for when I do the doubles high rocks with Martin in November. It'll never happen, but if I can just get a bit bigger. However, when I said I wanted to be more like Hugh Jackman, I meant the muscles, not the skin cancer. Anyway, I'll keep it across my health numbers, just in case you're worried. Are you looking forward to the high rocks with Martin? Yes. That was Andreas asking. I've never done a doubles before, so from that point of view, I'm really looking forward to doing it with high rocks, doing doubles with Martin. But as being Martin and I have become good friends, but also kind of good training buddies too, I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can manage. We had quite a long text conversation about tactics on Friday, because we're not going to get to train together before the event, so it's all going to be theory. The only thing we'll have to practice in person though is the sandbag swap over or change over. Everything else we can kind of do in theory. Like when it comes to ski erg, I'll run in, I'll ski for 50 seconds, stop for 50, ski for 50, stop for 50, and then run again, basically pretending Martin's here with me. So it should work out okay. Just the open doubles. I'm not quite up for pro weights yet. Maybe next time. I'm a little bit fearful of them, to be honest. The kettlebells, mostly, is that 32 kilograms is a lot more than 24. If nobody knows who I'm talking about when it comes to Martin, search YouTube for Martin Boyce with a Y, and you'll see what I mean. The plan is to do it as Wolverine and Deadpool. So I'm gonna grow the beard and the hair, ready for it. Who knows what he'll do? Is he gonna run around in a red mask? But yeah, it'll be fun. So I've got that at the end of November, and 2 weeks afterwards I'm off to Frankfurt, and then beginning of February, Vegas, baby, to celebrate my birthday. Off to Vegas to do high rocks there, and that's all I've got booked in properly right now. Is this the 250 again? Is the return, or is this, oh no, this is just the end of the lap. All right. I wonder if we'll get to that 500 meter sprint then. Might get to it, but the half hour could well be finished as we're on it. To be honest though, it's perfect for me, as being I've got, what is the session I've got? Burpees, farmer carries, lunges, wall balls, doing it as circuits, because my weakness is definitely burpees and lunges. So if I mix them with the ones that I'm slightly better at, farmer carry and wall balls, then doing 5
intervals of them should help. Got my first sim on the 5th of October, so that's only, what, 3 weeks away? I think, yeah. So, kind of need to improve. But it's not about me and my training, it's about you and your training. And hopefully, however you've rowed this half-hour row today, as we pass 26 minutes, hopefully it's had the right training effect on you. So I'm quite happy having done most of this at 2k plus like 20 pace with that one sprint just to make it exciting. But you can see how, from a cardiac drift point of view, I was at like 125 before the sprint, and then obviously it shot up during the sprint, but it's now only recovered down to 144. So it shows how you can really push your body within a workout. So whereas before I would have been zone 2 and possibly 4 or 5 for the sprint, I'm now in zone 3 and would need to ease off the intensity if my plan was to try and keep this all zone 2. Zone 2 being 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate, but I prefer to tell people to aim for 65% because everybody always aims for the top figure. And so if there's a little bit of headroom to that top figure, it means you're not going to tip into zone 3. But if you can look at your week's training and kind of meter it out so that you're doing lots of long, slow stuff, then a little bit of tempo stuff and a little bit of sprint stuff, then you're most of the way there to just all over fitness. The only thing I'd say is to add in some resistance training. Basically lift heavy stuff. Even if it's chin-ups, pull-ups, press-ups, but like bench press, deadlift, squat, they are absolutely bonza. Especially once you get 40 and above, it's so important that you don't just do cardio and even the high-end sprint stuff doesn't really cover the resistance training. If you can just find a weight that you can lift like 10 times before failure, and that strength training is just so important for building your body and your mitochondria and myokines, not mitochondria, mitochondria and myokines. There we go. Oh, it's like I've been on a course. Like I've been on a course. I only remembered half of the info, but yeah. All I'm saying is add in a bit of strength training, resistance training. It's really important, especially, that's one of the reasons why I was saying about really increasing the amount of time I was spending lifting weights. Not only so that from a vanity point of view, trying to look like Hugh Jackman, but also recognizing that drop in muscle is not good as I age. Okay, Andrea says, wow, that sounds great. Have fun in Frankfurt and Vegas. Entered Manchester ballot. Yeah, well, it's the next week to draw, because I did as well. So let's see. Let me know whether you get in. I'll obviously, well, you know me, I'll tell everybody if I get in or not. So HB, thanks mate, that was great. Good luck tomorrow at the hospital. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's very sweet. Cheers. I'm sure it's fine. It's just doctor being a little bit, But like I say, I'm just a little bit, if they don't take into account the amount of training and just how fit I am, and they're like, oh, danger, danger, just because of numbers, I'd be like, hang on, back off a second. Right, hang on, I'm gonna close this, try and find out what Andrew said. Hang on, I do that, that disappears, because what I don't want is you to see. So if I do continue, I know this isn't the most exciting part of the row, but everybody cool down while I'm doing this. Saving your session. Right, saving successful. Let's find out what Andrew was saying to me. Ooh, I beat Andrew in the sprint by 0.6 of a second. However, he was rowing this morning, so fair enough. I'll figure that 0.6 is only by virtue of the fact that you'd already had your legs slightly taken from under you this morning. So, right, last thing to say, yeah, doing all feet out. Force the pivot. Yep, enjoyed this, John. All the best for your checkup tomorrow. Oh, cheers. John Edge, happy with that. Row, hit my max heart rate of 170. Well done. Final sprint to the line. Not bad for a 69-year-old. Fantastic. That's a good heart rate, actually. Your max at 170 for an almost 70-year-old. Amazing how quickly your leg muscle wastes away at my age, 52. Yeah, when you don't regularly exercise, I did half marathon yesterday and 10K earlier. I struggle to do better than 220 these days. Yeah, I mean, it's protein, especially when it comes to men. I mean, women as well, but especially for men. Really get your protein up. The recommendations are like 1.6 grams per kilogram. But that's like, that 1.6 is kind of like, for normal, once you get like past kind of 44, for just like normal intake should be like 1.6 per. But they're now saying if you're like once you get older, nudging that up to 2 grams per kilogram could be better. And especially if you're the kind of like person that likes taking in a whole bunch of powders, find leucine and take in a lot more leucine than you normally would, because that there's lots of studies about how as you get older, your body just doesn't metabolize the protein as well, especially the leucine. So if you give it loads, it gets a much better chance to metabolize it. They compared like 50-year-olds to 18-year-olds, and that's kind of how they found that out. Anyway, right, where are we now? Yeah, happy with that. Oh, fine, cool, right. So we're all caught up. No more messages have come through. I've done a little bit of my pseudoscience and not actually told you the entire thing, but do read up about the protein thing, because it's quite important, and that's kind of part of the adding like muscle thing. So as you eat, like if you train less, like less resistance training, and you eat less protein, then that's like a pew pew in terms of your muscle loss, and that's just when it comes to your myokines and all that kind of stuff. You really want to make sure you have muscle, and then as you get older, you want to make sure you have muscle for stability and stuff, because once you get past 65, like a fall is like one of the biggest. Just falling is one of the biggest killers, because people end up in hospital, and then that's when things can go awry, let's say. So, anyone else? A couple more, and then we'll say goodbye. Which of your course playlists would you recommend to improve Hyrox row? That's a good point, actually, because what would you do? Because that 1,000-meter row isn't about doing a 1K row. It's about being able to have, I'd probably say, to be honest, the 5K. So the 5K plan, although it's training you to row 5,000 meters, because it's got so much tempo interval training things in it, it's all about basically you having to learn to deal with the intensity of rowing at rowing high intensity for long periods of time. That kind of falls in within the Hyrox thing, where you're kind of sitting down and you don't want to take it as a rest. If you want to perform, you don't want to take it as a rest. You're not sprinting it, because then that'll leave you ruined for the rest of the race, but you still need to be able to hit that at roundabout. I'm trying to think, pace-wise, would I be, if I'm rowing at round about 2K plus 10, I suppose 2K plus 5 is your 5K time. So it's still, I row it slightly slower, but then I had to use it as a kind of a rest because I'm gubbed after the burpees. So the 5K plan, that's what I'd say. And then David Granola, thanks. We'll try supplements. I mean, exercise in itself is the most important thing to do, but do look at kind of protein and leucine as a kind of a thing. Makes sense. Many thanks from Andreas. Cool. Right. Was that it? Oh yeah, and Tommy Tau says, thank you for the row. Pleasure. I'm going to go because, like I say, I've got to go and I'm going to change my t-shirt and go do my high rock stuff before I then cook dinner for the family. Yeah, so next week, if memory serves, next week there is no RowAlong because there's a British rowing row on. So that's at 10 o'clock in the morning, not at 9 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm going to do everything I can to make it, take a check for the socials and that kind of stuff to see whether a live row thing pops up. Hopefully I can. I just got to basically check with the family, make sure they're okay, because I can block out that 9 to 10 window, but sometimes 10 to 11 is a little bit, we can't do anything this morning because of you rowing. But keep an eye on the socials for that. And in the meantime, have a fantastic week. Look after yourselves. And yeah, we're September. Can you believe we're halfway through September already? Right. So yeah, and thank you so much for watching me and putting up with me for yet another row. So just see if one more comment. Another great session. All the best at the hospital. Thank you so much. I will let you all know what happens. Don't worry. Because obviously, I mean, if it's interesting enough to make a video about it, I'll make a video about it. So, but thank you so much, everybody, for caring. Have a fantastic week. I will see you for the morning row with British Rowing next week, hopefully. Otherwise, it will be, I think we then just, I don't know how they've done the schedule. I'll have to check the schedule, to be honest. But keep an eye. Go to exergame.com/events and you'll see everything that's coming up, all right? So take care of yourselves. Thanks once again for being here and letting me be part of your lives for Sunday evening or morning, depending on what time it is. Until next time.